Hello, everyone. I'm Jackie Montero-Sharpe. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management here at Fork Union Military Academy. And for this month's Connecting with the Cadet, we're joined by Cadet Davis, or whom I call Dalton. Dalton and I have known each other ever since he was a first-year cadet when you came in 10th grade.
Yep.
And I'm not allowed to have favorites, but he's a good cadet. He's a good boy. So Dalton, you came in 10th grade.
That's correct.
What happened? Why did you switch to the academy?
So I was ninth grade year, freshman in high school at Wilmington Christian Academy, my previous school. We hit COVID and my grades started to drop. My uncle went here as an alumni, so my mom kind of already knew the place. She's talked about it before. When I was about sixth grade, she's like, "Oh, we're gonna send you to Fork." And I was like, "Oh, I'm never gonna go there." Played it off, and I my grades started to slip. I wasn't doing good on online school. I had ADD, still do, but we'll talk about that at another time. And I just wasn't doing well. So my mom was researching things. She had to get me a tutor one time, and that cost a bunch of money. She was kind of just fed up. She was done with it. She works and owns her own business, so she doesn't have that kind of time to do all that. So
She's a busy woman.
yeah. So she had to look for some alternatives, and that was on her mind. She knew Fork Union was a good place, especially because she's seen her brother go here and graduate from here, and now he's a successful businessman. So she knows that it has good core values and that I would do well there, especially with how I communicate. I'm a people person, having a brotherhood here. So COVID hits. I finished my ninth grade year. We're thinking about re-enrolling at WCA, and my mom's like, "Well, listen, I'm going to send you to Fork Union Military Academy." I was like, "What? I'm not going, Mom. I just want to stay here. I want to be with my friends. I want to do, typical high school stuff." And so we look more into it. She kind of talks me into it, you know. And
And
I
how
will
was
say,
your first year? So you obviously came, you were accepted, you interviewed, you went through the whole admission
oh
process.
yeah, I interviewed, and then the next day we came up here to look, and Coach Mark Schumann, also my prep coach for the last couple of years, toured me, walked around campus, talked a lot, told me kind of what to expect, how the campus environment is, kind of how kids react, just typical stuff like that. And I enrolled that day. So I get to my company. I was in Alpha Company with Major Leidig my first year. He's been tech for a very long time, really good guy. Now does the FCA and all that kind of stuff in that, and is also in the admissions department along with you.
He's my best admission counselor.
Yeah, he's one of the best. He's a great guy. And it was rough. I won't lie. It was a huge change from living in your own house, having your own room. I mean, I have a sibling, so I kind of know how that is. I'm not an only child. I understand, I'm the oldest though, so it's different. Coming here and being like, whoa. I was with a senior. I moved in with a senior. I was a sophomore at the time, so that was a big change, kind of just seeing how the world works. It was a big wake up call that first day. And my mom took a photo that very first day. And I just put my uniform on, didn't really know how, didn't have a blouse on, like this part of the uniform. It was just a green t shirt. I was like, and every time I look at that photo, I'm like, whoa,
You
I've
have come a long
changed.
way.
Yes.
So you talked a little bit about your academic struggles.
hmm
So your
hmm
10th grade, you first came here, you obviously were on the one subject plan.
Yes.
You think, and because you kind of went through the beginning of high school, right when COVID hit. So first, was the transition to the one subject plan easy or hard? And then do you think it's helped you?
What I will say is at that time I was on medication for ADD. So it wasn't that big of a change. It wasn't very hard. It was definitely a new learning environment sitting in one class, but it kind of reminded me of when you were in elementary school and you were in one class. It's kind of the same thing, if that's what I had to equate anything to. But I would definitely say it was pretty easy transitioning. I didn't have much trouble. My grades were pretty good. Um, sitting in that class a little longer, having good breaks, just learning the schedule was different because it's a new environment, of course. Like you were saying, with COVID, when I got here, I had a 3.2 GPA. At the end of COVID, I had a 2.7.
Mhm.
So I've been working my butt off with the one subject plan, and it's really paid off. And now I'm back up to a 3.0 senior year, of course, but I brought it a lot up in my sophomore and junior year as well. So
Nice.
it's definitely paid off.
So tell me about, you mentioned the Brotherhood, which is
Mm.
a very real thing. So tell me
Oh,
about
yeah.
your friends.
So since I've been here, kids get kicked out, new kids join. So you meet a lot of new people, a lot of new faces. I had a lot more friends at my old school that I wasn't ready to get rid of. And then, came here and kind of just made a new friends. It's tough when you first get here. You're not going to be Mr. Popular unless, you're that guy, of course. But seeing just how everything works with the rank system and with people, how long people have known each other. There's kids that have been here for 6 years that have been like brothers almost for like in a real sense. But just meeting those new people, and also there's other new cadets that are there all like with you, so you kind of get to bond with them and learn and train and do those kinds of things as well. But I made some great friends that I've known for the past 3 years. Some guys that aren't at the academy, unfortunately, anymore, but I still talk to them, so it's really good, I will say.
What is the rank system? Can you
So
explain it as if someone like didn't know
was new.
anything about it? Yeah.
So the rank system, we like to say the corps is ran by cadets. So there's people like my age, I'm 17. There's people older than me, of course, 18, 19, probably the highest. There's all the way down. So it goes from 7th grade to 12th grade. Most of your 10th, 11th, 12th are officers. So those guys will be in control of, like, let's say a platoon leader, he'll be in control of about 20 guys,
Mhm.
21 guys, and he'll have a couple leadership guys under him with other ranks, and then you have your privates as well. So you'll have about 4 or 5 privates in each squad, and you'll have 3 squad leaders, and then you'll have 1 platoon sergeant, so kind of like your assistant. And then you
Mhm.
have your 3 squad leaders underneath you and some privates, and then it goes higher up the chain as well.
Right. So what's battalion staff?
Battalion staff, I like to refer as the retirement community. They do a lot of work. They look good in all of our parades, but they do a lot of work behind the scenes. They're not as hands-on. They're not in charge of the single cadet per se, like a platoon leader is, but they're in charge of like all the information that goes out, uniform of the day. So we wear different uniforms every day. If it's raining, we have parkas on, stuff like that. They're in control of, let's say, ED. I know we didn't bring that up. Extra duty, so
Mhm.
disciplinary system. They do a lot behind the scenes. Like we have our battalion commander this year, which is the highest ranking cadet. His name's Grant Demora. He's a really good guy, and he does a lot. He's here. He was a day student his prior years. He's been here for 6 years, but he's been a boarder this year and been doing really
So
well.
who
So
would be like under the battalion commander?
everyone. Everyone's under the
But
battalion
like who's
commander,
on
but
his staff?
so on battalion staff, you'll have your BC, then you'll
Mhm.
have your XO, so like his assistant, which is
Mhm.
Ethan Scheuer. Then you'll have
Mhm.
your command sergeant major, your highest enlisted guy. So there's officers and enlisted men. Your highest enlisted man is Trent Maxwell, really good friend of mine. Knew him for a long time. He used to be a platoon leader. So, and also to be on these rank battalion staff, stuff like that, you go through a rank board. You go through these kinds of like, let's say, review boards, and
Mhm.
that really challenges you because later on in life when you go somewhere and you're getting hired for a job, it gives you a lot more confidence. So
Absolutely.
I will say that as well.
Tell me about, you're quite the sporty guy, I would say. You definitely came and did the
Took
athletics.
off, yeah, with the athletics.
So what sports have you played here? Have you tried
I've
any new
played
sports since you've been here?
so I tried football my first year. That was a brand new sport to me. I've never played
Mhm.
before. My parents didn't want me to play, when I was younger. And of course, I will say Fuma makes you much stronger, much bigger. I came here at 5'9", about 175 pounds, and we couldn't leave that first year because of COVID. So we were here for 3 months, 2.5 months, and I just played football. And I went from 175 all the way to 200, and I went from 5'9" to 6 foot. So I definitely grew as a person, but also mentally, physically wise, like got tougher, learned what football was really all about. You watch it on TV, of course, but I never really
Mhm.
had the chance to play it. So when I got to become a player on the team, it formed another kind of bond. 14 is all about body, mind, spirit. That was that body part of it, being involved in such things as football. So, and I've played a couple more this year. As my senior year, I'm just like, why not? And I was the golf team captain last year, and I played golf the year before. That was my spring sport, and I
Mhm.
changed it to baseball this year. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. It'll be a new change of pace. But
Good.
wintertime, I just lift. That's what I really do. It's kind of like an off season for me to get bigger
Mhm.
and get ready for the next sport, depending on what I'm trying to do, either gain weight, lose weight, be more athletic, be bigger. It just depends on what I need to do. And Fort Union definitely has the facilities for that with their weight room,
Yeah.
their cardio room, personal trainers.
Yeah. I also always see you hanging about the social center.
That's a
That's
great thing to
a
bring up.
that's a pretty big job you have. Like
That
seriously,
is.
it's a big job. Sometimes when Mr. York, who's our director of student activities,
Mhm.
isn't there, you're pretty much in charge of the social center. So do you want
Yes.
to tell folks first what the social center is and what your job is
So
there?
okay, yes, I can start that. The social center is like where all the cadets can go on their weekends or their breaks during the week. Normally Wednesdays, Thursdays, we have a snack bar, we have a movie theater in there, pool tables, ping pong, TVs, Nintendo Switches, VR headsets. We also have a brand new flight sim. I'll talk more on that later because that's one of my main things I do this year. But last year, I with the rank system, I got demoted, and Miss York kind of helped me see that there was other things, that I can do that'll kind of involve my time so I don't get into trouble, so I don't do, just stuff I shouldn't be doing. And I started working on the weekends, full weekends from Friday, Saturday, Sunday with the schedule. And I took off from there, and I've just been, snack bar working there. We have soda, Little Debbie stuff, hot food. Sometimes Miss York will get pizzas on the weekends, so guys can get pizzas. Sometimes we have Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell. It all just depends on what we can do that week. But
Yeah.
I have over 500 community service hours for how long I've worked there. And I think when applying to college, that really helps me out because they can be like, oh, you play sports, you made good grades, you're discipline system, you're very good there, but like what else? We see that in a lot of people. What sets you apart from the average cadet or the average student?
Right.
Well, I do this and this and this. So
And I do think you're even downplaying it a little bit because sometimes you're the cadet in charge when Mr. York isn't
that
there.
is true.
And I've seen you shut down the social center when it's dinner time, and you alone are pretty much in charge of making sure all the cadets leave the social center, that they've turned in everything that needs to stay at the
Hmm.
social center. You go clean up the snack bar area, make sure
Yeah.
that's in good working shape for the next time it's open. So it's a pretty big job you have.
And I do like to downplay because it's not all just me. I have other cadets
Mhm.
as well. One of my friends, Matthew Vinto, is a really big help. He's on battalion staff as well. So one of his main jobs is working in there as well. They call me the bouncer. That's what Mr. York hired me originally for, because I'm just a bigger guy, and especially cadets will act up, and sometimes I've had to close down the social center. Guys aren't doing what they're supposed to, and I've had to kick everybody out because they don't want to
Wow.
listen or we haven't opened up some nights. So it all depends, but yeah, making sure everything's turned back in, used correctly, the game rooms are clean, um, and just doing what they're supposed to be doing. But this year I've more or less run the flight sim room, which
Yeah,
we
what's that?
recently got. So we got a full gyro, so the whole base and platform move. We have 3 TV screens, computer
Hmm.
hardware, everything with full flight sim joysticks, throttles, all the buttons and everything, all the gadgets. And I'm just been teaching other people because you got to remember, Fuma isn't just a place where you're here and you're gone. I'm teaching the next person. So I'm already teaching the next person to run the flight sim room next year.
Mhm.
So I have some tasks on my hand, stuff that I'm taking care of, for the guys for next year.
Yeah, because you are a senior.
I
So
am.
can you tell us what your plans are for after Fork Union?
Yes. So I'm planning on going to the Citadel, which is a huge thing, especially it's kind of like this place, but on steroids. Um, and Fuma has definitely helped me get into that place with our college admission system that we worked out with them, automatic exception if you're over a 2.5 GPA, good standings, yada yada.
Yes, we
And
do have an admission agreement with the Citadel.
we do,
A
along
few
with Norwich
other, right,
and
Norwich
VMI.
and VMI. That's correct.
Yes. So it's definitely helped out big time. And I'm just excited to go. And I really like the town of Charleston. I toured there this past summer, knowing that I really wanted to go there. I originally wanted to go to the Naval Academy, and I was just like, I don't think that's going to be for me. Even though I'm going in the Navy after this is I
Okay,
want to be a fighter pilot. So I'm going to
good.
try to commission into the Navy.
Very nice.
Hmm.
So, what piece of advice would you give to a new Fuma cadet?
Ooh, okay. So I've been a platoon leader multiple times. I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of new guys come in and out, and the biggest piece of advice I can get is just listen, act your age, do the right thing, don't get other people in trouble. And just be a good person. It's just simply if you have good integrity, good honor, you'll do well. As long as you're not goofing around, doing what you're not supposed to be doing, making it a headache for somebody who's in charge of you, it really is pretty easy. We have a schedule. You just got to follow the
Yes.
schedule.
Yes. Who has been your favorite Fuma teacher?
Fuma teacher. Ooh. So, I mean, every year there's new teachers, new classes you've been in. So my
Mhm.
first year was definitely Major Acree with
Yeah,
geography. He was a great teacher. He was my last term. So fifth term, we have 5 terms each, for the one subject plan. And he was definitely one of my favorite teachers. And then I've had Colonel Northnagel.
mhm.
He has been one of by far my favorite teachers. Really helped me to understand and grasp math and just advanced, calculations and stuff like that. He really helped me with my ADD to have a hands-on approach and go up to the board and solve those equations and work through them. He'd also tell story time in class and bring in food because he used to be kind of a cook and chef and own his own, kind of businesses
Yes.
like that. So
He is
it
a
was
Fuma
definitely good.
legend,
He is
definitely.
a Fuma legend. Yes, he's been here for a very long time. He
Yes.
actually taught my uncle when he was here, and my uncle was on his ping pong team. So like he's been here for a very long time.
Anything else you would like to say to the people?
I would. So when you come to Fuma, there's multiple jobs. You'll have multiple jobs, multiple tasks that you'll be able to do or that you can find. We have lots of clubs. So if they ever say they're bored or they're not doing anything, it's because they're not going out there and trying new things or, really challenging themselves. Like I picked up, I think this is either my first or my second year. We do for Mother's Day parade and big parades or big days like alumni and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'll put the 50 state flags out around the circle. And that's just one of the many jobs that I have that's pretty important, I would say, for around here on
Absolutely.
top of my other stuff. So it really teaches you how to juggle your time, and time management's a really good thing here, even with the schedule that we have. So I would say leave that with a little bit of advice for
So
the next
just
couple.
get involved, find a job.
Get involved. That's exactly.
Because
Hmm.
we will give cadets jobs,
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
If you guys want to
Oh
do
yeah.
something, we'll usually find a way for y'all to do it.
And we do a lot of off-campus events too, which are very fun. Like last week, we went to
Mhm.
Drive Shack, which was a lot of fun. So
It was fun.
yeah,
Well, good. Well, thanks so much, Dalton. We
you're very
will
welcome.
definitely miss you next year, but we're excited for you to begin your journey at the Citadel and come visit anytime. And now you've joined the Fuma, you're a Fuma legacy now.
Oh Jesus.
All right, I'm gonna end the recording.